Okay, Lavine, let's start the class today. So this is 2026 Edexcel A2 level October-November batch. So today we are starting this class. So this is just an introduction to the class. So first I will introduce myself. Then I will explain. So within this class, Lavine, we will complete all the lessons that is required for your A2 level exam. All right. So today I will give you some introduction to photosynthesis and ATP molecule. All right. When we are talking about energy. So before that, so this is not a full 2 hour session, Lamai. So today I will just introduce myself. Then I will outline what are the things that you have to learn about photosynthesis, and I will explain about chloroplasts and all the basic things about photosynthesis. All right. So I am Sahasra Tilagaratna. I'm a fourth year medical student at University of Sri Jayawardenepura. So actually, I did my A levels in local syllabus. I have not learned in Cambridge or Edexcel, but I have been conducting this mainly Cambridge and local syllabus A level classes for 4 years duration now. So from time to time, I have also did some Edexcel individual classes also. So this year, I have decided to start a group class for this A2 level examination. So within so now we have nearly 3 months for the exam, right? So July, August, September, right? Only 3 months. So within these 3 months, we will complete all the lessons required for this A2 level examination. So this is like a revision, right? So within this class, we will discuss theory and also we will discuss the questions, right? So if you are continuing the class, you will receive a theory note. That in that note, it will contain all the important things from the textbook itself, but it is like a short note created from this textbook. All right. So usually, so when you are preparing for this exam, Lamai, you have to read the textbook. So my note uh, will be additional thing so that you can refer. All right. So that is a short note prepared by the textbook according to the textbook. Then, other than this notes, theory notes, I will give you a paper tute called paper tute. In that tute, that will contain the questions that these are frequently asked questions in your past papers. All right. So from lesson to lesson, you will get these theory notes and the paper tutes. Within that paper tute, that will contain the questions that you need to practice for this exam. So as an example, so when we are learning this lesson photosynthesis, you will get a tute, paper tute. That paper tute will contain the questions from this lesson. All right. So it can contain SCQs, MCQs as well. All right. Okay. So that is how we are going to conduct this class. So within these 3 months, we will complete all the lessons required for A2 level examination. So because of that, we have a limited time. So in some weeks, we will conduct 2 sessions. So usually I'm conducting only 1 session per week. So, but for some weeks, we will conduct 2 sessions per week. All right. So, okay. So as I mentioned, so introduction, I am Sahasha Tilakaratna. I'm a fourth year medical student. So as I mentioned, I did my A levels in local syllabus, and I will tell you a little story about my A levels. Actually, I learned in I studied at Nalanda College, Colombo. All right, so I studied at Nalanda College, Colombo. So when I started my A levels, so in government schools there are 3 terms, right? So first term, second term, first term test, second term test, and third term test. So in local syllabus, we are usually facing our exams at grade 13. All right, so we have to cover all the theory components of 2 years, and we have to face the exam. So when I was starting my A level journey at first term, there are 3 subjects: biology, physics, and chemistry. So for biology, my marks was around 56. Around 56. Actually, I can't remember the exact number. It was around 54 or 56. out of 100. All right. Then chemistry, uh, my marks was around 42. Physics, right? So I clearly remember my physics marks. It was only 19 marks out of 100. All right. So this was my first term test results when I was facing my during my A level time. Right. So this is the first term test results of mine. All right. For biology only 56 marks, chemistry only 42 marks, physics only 19 marks. So there were one student who scored 18 marks of physics. So uh, after him, I was the lowest marks of the class. All right, for physics. And so that time I was 24th of the class in first term. All right. So that is how I began my A level journey. All right. But after 2 years, so when I am facing my A levels, so I faced my A levels at 2021. So after facing that A level examination, I scored 3 A's, 3 A's with an Z score of 2.32. All right. So in local syllabus, there is an Z score. All right. There is a Z score. So I started from here, but after 2 years, I scored 3 A's. Right. A's for all three distinctions for all three subjects with a high Z score. And then I entered medical faculty of University of Sri Jagannapuram. So now I am studying in fourth year. All right. So I have one more year to become a doctor. All right. So this is my story. So when I'm starting a new class, always I'm telling this story because uh, it doesn't matter where you begin, where you are began your story. All right. So that doesn't matter. Only thing. So when you are studying for any exam, so there can be many factors which affect a good result, right? Sometimes it is memory, intelligence, right? There are many things that can affect these A level results, but as I believe, the most important thing is the discipline and consistency, all right? So it doesn't matter how much, so whether you are very intelligent, right? So you have a good memory, that doesn't matter. If you are not disciplined enough to study, you will not get a good result. All right. But let's say you are not very intelligent and you don't have a great memory. But if you have discipline, you can get you can score a good mark in any exam. All right. So that can be O levels, A levels, it can be a exam in university, right? For any exam, the most important thing is the discipline. That is what I believe. All right. Okay. So here, what will happen is I will guide you to get a distinction for your A level, A2 level biology. All right. So I am here to help you and I am here to guide you. All right. So take the maximum advantage and you can ask questions if you have any doubt. All right, that is how we are learning. So when I'm teaching, I will ask some questions. So you can send me the answer by sending a message. So when I'm asking questions, don't be afraid to answer. All right. So make mistakes in the class. So when you make mistakes in the class, you won't make that same mistake in your exam. All right. So when I'm asking question, just give an answer. So don't worry whether it is correct or not. All right. Okay. So all right. So that is introduction. That is the introduction about me. All right. Okay. So as I mentioned, Lamai, today is not a full session. I will just give you an idea about this photosynthesis. All right. Then about the importance of ATP. All right. Okay. First, we will begin the lesson from this importance of ATP. All right. Then we can talk about photosynthesis and chloroplast and chlorophyll. Okay. All right. So our topic is photosynthesis. Okay. What is photosynthesis? So if we compare animals and plants, right? So humans are also animals, right? So if we compare animals and plants, so we consume food, right? What are the types of food that we consume? We eat plants, right? Sometimes meat from animals, right? So we consume various types of food and nutrients. But if you compare us with the plant, does plants eat? Does plants eat? No, right? Plants do not eat and they can't move, right? So from the beginning, especially humans and all the animals, they hunt food, right? They hunt, right? They hunt animals, they eat food. But if we compare these plants can't even move, right? So there can be some movements of plants, but they can't move from one location to another location, right? So how does this plants get food? How do these plants get food? So the answer is photosynthesis. So if you are simply talking, uh, photosynthesis is basically production of food within plant cells, right? So that is photosynthesis. So basically, photosynthesis is production of food within plants. So like animals, plants also need food, but plants cannot eat or hunt, right? So because of that, these plants have to make this food within them, within their cells, within plant cells. All right. So that this process of production of food within plant cells, this is called photosynthesis. This is called photosynthesis. All right. So, can you tell me, other than plants, is there any other or is there any other organism uh, which can do this photosynthesis? So, as I mentioned, obviously, us humans and animals cannot do this photosynthesis, right? Photosynthesis occurs within plants. So I'm asking, other than plants, is there any other organism which can produce this food within them? Which means photosynthesis. Is there any other organism other than plants? What do you think? Can you send me the answers as a message? Okay. Okay. So that is correct. Photosynthetic bacteria. All right. So there are some bacteria which can perform this photosynthesis. Those bacteria have a special name. That name is cyanobacteria. All right. So not all the bacteria cannot do this photosynthesis, but there is a specific group of bacteria which can do this photosynthesis. Those bacteria are called cyanobacteria. So other than plants, cyanobacteria can also do this photosynthesis. All right, which means production of food within the cells. All right. So other than these plants and cyanobacteria, there is one other type of organism which can do this photosynthesis. So do you know what is that organism, Lavai? Other than cyanobacteria and plants, what is the other organism? There is another one. Can someone tell me the answer? What do you think? So other than plants and cyanobacteria, there is another type of organism which can do this photosynthesis. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you the answer, Lavai. Answer is algae. All right. So plants, algae, and cyanobacteria can do this photosynthesis. This process called photosynthesis. This photosynthesis occurs in plants mainly, then cyanobacteria and algae. All right. So that is uh, good to remember. Sorry. Cyanobacteria, plants, and algae can produce food within their cells. That is called photosynthesis. All right. Okay. So that is the first thing that you need to understand. What is this photosynthesis? So basically, photosynthesis is production of food within a plant cell because obviously plants can't uh, take outside food, right? So they can't eat, they can't hunt. Because of that, they have to produce this food within their cells. Because of that, they are using this method called photosynthesis. All right. Okay. So when we are talking about this process photosynthesis, Lamai, there are things that required for this process of photosynthesis. There are mainly three components which is required for this process called photosynthesis. So these three are sunlight. All right. First one is sunlight. Then carbon dioxide gas. All right. First one. What is the first one? First one is the sunlight. Then second one is the carbon dioxide gas. Other one is water. All right. So for production of food within a plant, that is called photosynthesis. For this process of photosynthesis, these three are the main requirements. So without these requirements, plants cannot produce food within their cells, which means it can't perform this photosynthesis. What are the main three things? Sunlight. First one is sunlight. Second one, carbon dioxide gas. Then third one, water. Right. So these are the main three things which is required for photosynthesis. All right. Okay. So all right. So as you can see here. Okay. So this is the equation given in your textbook. So this is the equation of photosynthesis. So as I mentioned, there are mainly three requirements for photosynthesis. All right. What is the first one? Sunlight. All right. So here they have given it here. Light energy. Light energy means like sunlight. All right. So light energy means sunlight. So other than sunlight, it requires water and carbon dioxide. All right. Water and carbon dioxide. So these are the main three components which required for this process called photosynthesis. Sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. Sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. So uh, what are the products of photosynthesis? So photosynthesis means production of food within the cell, simply, right? So here they produce this food in the form of glucose, all right? So this is the product of photosynthesis, right? This is the main product. What is the main product of photosynthesis? That is glucose, right? So this is the food, right? Food for plant, all right? So there are mainly three components which required for photosynthesis: sunlight or light energy, carbon dioxide, and water. So by these three components, it produces food in the form of glucose. Right? So glucose is the main product of photosynthesis. Glucose is the main product of photosynthesis. All right. So even if this glucose is produced within plants, it is not stored as glucose within plants. So there is a different storage form of food within the plant. Right. So basically, by this process called photosynthesis, plants produces glucose as their food. So all these food are stored within a plant. Can someone tell me what is the storage form of glucose? So glucose is a type of carbohydrate, right? All right. So glucose belongs to the group carbohydrates, right? So can someone tell me what is the storage form of glucose within a plant? What do you think? Does anyone know? So now they have produced this food, right? So they are not, so these plants are not going to consume all this glucose of just after they have been produced, right? So they will store them, right? They will store them within their parts of their plant, right? Parts of the plant. So can someone tell me? My question is, what is the storage form of glucose within a plant? Can someone answer that question? All right. So as I mentioned before, Amai, you don't have to be afraid to answer. Right? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. All right. Just tell me what do you think? What is your answer? So I'm asking, what is the storage form of glucose within a plant? Can someone give me the answer? Yes, correct. All right, very good. Answer is starch. All right. So, storage form of glucose within a plant is starch. Okay, now I'm asking a different question. What is the storage form of glucose within human body? Can someone answer that question? That is also important, right? So all these are belong to biology. So now you know what is the storage form of glucose within the plant, which is starch. So now I am asking, what is the storage form of glucose within human body? What is the answer? What is the storage form of glucose within human body? Is also correct. Good. So the answer is glycogen. All right. So the storage form of glucose within plant cell is starch, and storage form of glucose within human body is glycogen. All right. So these glucose within our body, these are stored as glycogen. All right. So glycogen stores are mainly within our muscles and our liver. All right. So glycogen are stored mainly within our liver and the muscles. Okay. So, as I mentioned, these three are required for this process called photosynthesis: carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. So, what is the main product? Is glucose. So, there is a very important byproduct of this process called photosynthesis. There is a very important byproduct of photosynthesis, which is oxygen. All right. So, without oxygen, we can't live, right? For all the animals, we require oxygen, right? To for our respiration. All right. Okay, so oxygen is the byproduct of photosynthesis. Right? Photosynthesis requires three things: sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. Then it produces glucose and oxygen. All right, glucose and oxygen. Oxygen is important for survival of animals like us. All right. Okay. So glucose is the food produced during this process called photosynthesis. All right. Okay. All right. So now you have an idea what is photosynthesis and what are the things which is required for this process called photosynthesis and what are the products of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is simply production of food within plant cells because plants can't eat or hunt for food. All right. Because of that, they need to produce food within these plant cells. That process is called photosynthesis. Then, always Lamai, you can think like this: photo means Lamai, it requires energy from the sunlight. Energy from sunlight. All right. So if a term contain the name photo, which is referred to sunlight. So photosynthesis, it means a synthesis of food with the help of sunlight, like that. All right. So photo means that is related to sunlight. So photosynthesis. So this photosynthesis requires energy from sunlight, then carbon dioxide gases and water. Then the main product is glucose. Uh, so after production of this glucose will be stored within the plant as starch. So other than this glucose, there is a byproduct of photosynthesis, which is oxygen. All right. So these are the basic concepts that you need to understand about photosynthesis. All right. Okay. Now, if you compare the structures of plant cells and animal cells, Lamai, so there is a specific organelle within plant cells which is important for this process called photosynthesis. But if we compare animal cells lack this organelle. Can someone tell me what is that organelle? So there is a specific organelle within a plant cell which is responsible for photosynthesis. But animal cells does not have this organelle. What is that organelle? Tell me the answer. All right. Answer is chloroplast. All right. Answer is chloroplast. Okay. So when we are talking about this photosynthesis, to understanding about this organelle called chloroplast is very important because this is unique to plant cells because it does not contain in animal cells. So this chloroplast is specifically within these plant cells. Because of that, it is important to understand the structure of this chloroplast. Okay, so now let's talk about this chloroplast. All right. Okay, before this diagram, I will show you a different diagram. All right. Okay. Here am I. So here some of these labeling are incorrect. Right? So this picture is from the internet. Okay. So just think this is the animal cell. This is the plant cell. Right? So as you can see here, these organelles, right? So these green organelles, these are the chloroplasts. All right. So here there are several chloroplasts. So as you can see here, within an animal cell, this not contain any chloroplast. So it is present only in these plant cells. All right, chloroplast. All right. So these are the chloroplasts. Okay, now this is a diagram of this organelle chloroplast. All right. So this is the structure of a chloroplast. So if we consider this organelle called chloroplast, it has two membranes. Right. So when we are talking about these cell structures, organelles, some organelles are membrane bound, some are not membrane bound. All right. So can you give me some? Can you give me one example for non-membrane bound organelle? Is there any organelle which does not have a membrane? It can be a organelle in the within an animal cell or a plant cell. Can you give me an example for an organelle which does not have a membrane covering the organelle? Can someone tell me the answer? Okay. Any other answers? Can everyone send me answers? What do you think, Laman? Don't be afraid. Just send me the answers. So my question is, within an animal cell and a plant cell, there are membrane-bound organelles and there are non-bound organelles. So I'm asking one example for non-membrane-bound organelle. All right. So which means an organelle which is not covered by a membrane. All right. So can you give me some example? Give me one example. What do you think? Okay. All right. There are several answers. Okay, so I will tell you the answer, Mike. The non-membrane bound organelle is ribosome. All right, ribosome. So if we compare, so what are the membrane bound organelles? All right, so nucleus. That is the most important organelle of a cell, right? Nucleus. All right. So nucleus have two membranes. All right. Nucleus has two membranes. All right. So then. Golgi apparatus. So if we compare Golgi apparatus, actually that is a stack of membrane, right? So that is a organelle which contain uh, membrane bound vesicles, right? So within Golgi apparatus there are membranes, all right? So the basically the Golgi apparatus is made up of membranes, like that, all right? So it has membranes. Golgi apparatus has membranes. Nucleus, the most important organelle within a cell, it has an organelle. So there is one answer. Uh, Someone has sent me nucleolus. Actually, my nucleolus is not a separate organelle. All right. So nucleolus is just a part within the nucleus. All right. So nucleus is the organelle. Nucleolus is not a separate organelle. That is just a part within the nucleus. All right. Okay. So okay, nucleus has a double membrane. Golgi apparatus is made up of membranes. Then endoplasmic reticulum made up of membranes. Then again, mitochondria has two membranes, like that. So the non-membrane bound organelle is ribosome. All right, ribosome is the non-membrane bound organelle. So if we compare centrosomes or centrosols, usually we don't consider those as organelles. All right. So these centrosomes are important for cell division, but usually we do not consider them as organelles. So, but ribosomes are considered non-membrane bound organelle. All right. Okay. So that knowledge is also important. Right. That is not directly relevant to this part, but I'm telling you these things. These are also important. All right. So in the future you will uh, learn these things in university. All right. So when you are doing your university studies, it is important to have an idea about all these things, especially if you are going to do if you are going to become a doctor, right? Or learn medicine. These are very important things. All right. Okay. Okay. So now, so this is the uh, chloroplast. All right. So they have cut one part of it. Now we can see inside the chloroplast. All right. So this this covering of the chloroplast is called the envelope. All right. Here, that is the envelope. So this envelope has two membranes. As I mentioned, there are two membranes for a chloroplast: outer membrane and the inner membrane. All right. So it has two membranes: inner membrane and the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Okay. So this is an important organelle. This chloroplast is important for photosynthesis. All right. So if we compare animal cells with plant cells, only plant cells contain have this chloroplast. Animal cells does not have chloroplast. And chloroplast have two membranes. So this both membranes together we can call it as envelope. All right. So envelope contains outer membrane and the inner membrane. So inside there is a jelly-like material. So in a cell, cells also have membrane or cell membrane. Within the cell membrane, there is cytoplasm, right? There is a jelly-like material, jelly-like medium within a cell, which is called cytoplasm. So similar to that, within the chloroplast, there is a medium that is also a bit jelly-like medium that is called stroma. All right, that is called stroma. All right, so within a cell, that jelly-like material is called cytosol or the cytoplasm. So here, if we cut open this chloroplast, there is a similar jelly-like material medium made up of jelly-like material that is called the stroma of the chloroplast. All right, so outer covering, which is called the envelope. Envelope has two parts, right? Outer membrane and the inner membrane. So within, if we cut open this chloroplast, there will be a jelly-like material within the chloroplast, which is called the stroma. What is it? Stroma of the chloroplast. All right, stroma. All right, so this is the stroma. Then there are there are structures called thylakoids. All right. So as you can see here, there are like disc-like structures, right? So there are few disc-like structures here, as you can see, right here. These are disc-like structures. All right, and they are stacked together. All right, so there are disc or coin-like structures. All right. So these coin-like or the disc-like structures are called thylakoid. Right? So within the stroma of the chloroplast, there are these disc-like or coin-like structures stacked together. So we can call one of this coin or a disc-like structure. The name is thylakoid. All right. What is it? Thylakoid. All right. So I am telling you this again and again, Lamai, because these are very important to remember. So chloroplast present in plant cells. It has two membranes. Both together, we can call it as envelope. There's outer membrane and the inner membrane. If we cut open this chloroplast, there is a jelly-like material, jelly-like medium that is called the stroma of the chloroplast. And within the stroma, there are coin-like or the disc-like structures stacked together. This one structure is called thylakoid, right? So this one structure is called thylakoid. Then, all right, so if we consider this one disc, all right, this one disc that is called thylakoid, all right, one disc is called thylakoid. Then, if we consider the whole stack of these coins or the disc-like structures, stack of thylakoids, all right, stack of thylakoids. So this stack of thylakoids are called grana, all right, those are called grana, all right. So granum means stack of thylakoids. So one structure that is called thylakoid, right? So one structure is called thylakoid and stack of thylakoids are called granum. And this jelly-like material inside the chloroplast that is called stroma. All right, stroma. All right. So this is the envelope. It has two parts: outer membrane, inner membrane. All right. So this is the structure of a thylakoid. Sorry, this is the structure of the chloroplast. All right. So this structure of the chloroplast is very important because to understand the process of photosynthesis, you have to have an idea about the structure of this chloroplast. All right. So I will explain again. Chloroplast is an organelle within a plant cell which consists of two membranes, outer membrane and the inner membrane. If we cut open this chloroplast, there will be a jelly-like material which is called stroma of the chloroplast, and within the stroma there are disc-like or coin-like structures stacked together. So one of these coin-like structure that is called thylakoid. Thylakoid, and stack of thylakoid are called grana. Stack of thylakoid are called grana. All right. Okay, so these are important to remember. All right. Okay, so then chlorophylls are photosynthetic pigments. All right. So within the now within the chloroplast there are grana. So grana means stack of thylakoids. So if we consider one thylakoid, within the thylakoid there will be a photosynthetic pigment called chlorophyll. All right. So we will learn about this chlorophyll next week. So I'm not going to explain all these things about chlorophyll now. So today you have learned about the structure of the chloroplast. All right. So then, okay. So that's about the chloroplast. So now I will explain a bit about ATP as well. All right. So here you have to learn about ATP. Okay, the importance of ATP. So first you need to understand what is this, what is ATP, and then you can understand the importance of ATP. Actually, if we this Edexcel A level biology uh, is mainly understanding, not memorizing. Right. So if we compare this with local syllabus, actually I did my years in local syllabus. Local syllabus is very difficult to study because the most of the main thing is memorization. All right. It is very difficult to memorize all the things, and that is local is very competitive. All right. So if 40,000, so usually in local A-level biology, around 40,000 students will face the A-level examination, but only around 1,700 students will come into medicine. All right, out of 40,000. All right, out of 40,000, only around 1,700. All right, so that is very difficult because the main thing is memorization in local A level. But in Cambridge and Edexcel, that is very different and that is very good. All right. Because here you need, the main thing is understanding. All right. Not memorizing. All right. So usually when we are doing local A levels, that is just blind memorization. All right. There is some parts that we need to understand also, but the main thing is memorization. All the sentences, all the technical terms, all right? But for you, the main thing is the understanding of these concepts, not memorize. The memorization is also important because if you can't remember everything, you don't know anything, no? Or you can't write anything. But the main thing is my understanding, not memorization. All right. Okay. So importance of ATP. All right, so what is ATP? First, you need to understand what is ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. So, what is this adenosine triphosphate? So, adenosine triphosphate is called the universal energy carrier. All right, so what is this adenosine triphosphate? This ATP or the adenosine triphosphate is called the universal energy carrier. So it's like a currency of energy. All right. It's like a currency of energy. All right. So for everything that we do, which means now I am teaching you, right? So I need to talk. I need to move. Right? I need to move my hands. I need to move around. For all these things, my body so when I'm doing all these things, my body needs energy. All right. So even when we are sleeping, there are various body processes that will occur within our body. There are various biochemical reactions occur within our body even during sleeping. All right. So when we are sleeping, there can be various biochemical reactions. So other than that, our heart is continuously beating, right? Even when we are sleeping, our heart is beating. Then our respiratory process occurs during sleep. All right. Inspiration and expiration. All right. For all these body processes, even during sleeping, it require energy. All right. That is what you need to understand. For every movement of our body and most of the biochemical reactions which occurs within our body, our respiration, process of respiration, digestion, then uh, heart beating and blood circulation, all these body processes requires energy, and that energy is supplied by this molecule called ATP. Right. So now you can understand what is the importance of ATP. Right. ATP is very important because that provides energy for everything that we do. So now I am speaking. So I get that energy from ATP. All right. So now I'm moving my hand. For this movement, I get this energy from ATP. So now I'm walking here and there. So I get energy from ATP. My heart is beating. All right. Because I get energy from ATP. So I inspire, I'm inspirate, expirate. That also requires energy. All right. Like that. All right. So respiration, heartbeat, various biochemical reactions, all these things require energy, and this energy is supplied by ATP. So ATP is called the universal energy carrier because if we consider humans, all the other animals, and some bacteria, and all these organisms, all these living organisms will get energy from ATP. That is why it is called universal energy carrier, because it is universal. All right. In any living organism, that organism will get energy from this molecule called ATP, and that is like currency. All right. That is like a currency. Okay. So this is the structure of ATP. Right. All right. So this is the nitrogenous base, adenine, nitrogenous base. This is the pentose sugar. All right. This is the pentose sugar, ribose. All right. So this is the structure of ATP molecule. So it contains a nitrogenous base, which is called adenine, and this is a pentose sugar. All right. Pentose sugar. That pentose sugar is called ribose, and there are three phosphate groups: 1, 2, and 3. All right. So adenine, nitrogenous base, ribose, pentose sugar, and there are three phosphate groups. All right. So basically, this is the structure of ATP molecule. So now you can see why it is called ATP, right? Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine. Adenosine stands for this adenine and the ribose sugar. Adenosine. Then triphosphate means three phosphate groups. All right. So by this structure, you can understand the name given, right? Adenosine, adenine plus ribose, adenosine triphosphate, three phosphate groups. All right. Okay, so this is the adenosine triphosphate or the ATP molecule, which is the universal energy carrier. This is like a currency of energy. All right. Okay, so how does this ATP molecule provides energy? Does anyone know any idea? How does this ATP molecule supplies energy? Is there any mechanism? What do you think? Nona, tell me the answer if you know. What do you think? Ah, yes, correct. Okay. Okay, so that is called Lamine hydrolysis. So which means here in this ATP molecule, there will be breaking of this bond between two phosphate groups. So by breaking down this bond between these two phosphate groups, that will release energy. All right. So this ATP molecule will supply energy by breaking a bond between two phosphate groups, which will release energy. All right. Okay. So that is about ATP molecule. All right. Okay, so all right, so ATP is the universal energy carrier. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine means this adenine nitrogenous base plus ribose pentose sugar, and triphosphate means there are three phosphate groups, right? One, two, three. Then this will provide energy by breaking the bond between two phosphate groups, right? That breaking down of this bond will release energy, all right? So that released energy, that energy we can use that energy during our daily activities, right? And for our body functions, all right? Okay, so that is about ATP. Okay, now so that is okay. So today I have explained the structure of the chlorophyll, and I have briefly explained about photosynthesis, and I have given you a brief introduction for ATP. All right. Okay. So now I think you have an idea about my method of teaching. Okay. So as I mentioned, I will give you a theory note for these lessons, and other than a theory note, I will give you a paper tute which contain the questions from your past papers. So other than that, Lamai, I'm also providing this poster. All right. So this poster is called memory boost posters. So this is just a summary about photosynthesis. So this is, so as you can see here, this is very appealing, right? So you can read this. So this is really fun. All right. There are colorful photos, and this is a summary of the lesson. All right. So this one poster does not contain all the things that you have to know about photosynthesis. Right? This is just a brief summary. All right. So I will provide this also. Okay. So now, all right. Okay, Ramesh. So today, as I mentioned, I have explained about the structure of the chloroplast, and I explained briefly about photosynthesis, this process, and ATP. Right. So this is not a complete explanation of about any of these, Lamai. So we have to learn about photosynthesis in very deeply, and we have a lot more to discuss about ATP also. Okay. So today, this is just an introduction. So if you wish to continue the class after the class, send me a message. So for now, I'm conducting individual classes. So, but if there are more than one student, we can start a group class like this. All right. So within, as I mentioned, within this 3 months period, we will cover all the lessons that required for A2 level biology. All right, for October November batch. So in some weeks we will conduct only one session. Some weeks we will conduct two sessions. So within these sessions, we will not only discuss the theory. So we will discuss theory like this for some time. Then we will discuss the questions also. Okay. All right. So I hope you have learned something from this lesson today, and you have a clear idea about my teaching method. Okay. All right. So let's stop the class for today, Lamai. Okay. Uh, any questions, Lamai, regarding the lesson today? Yes, correct. There is a question, sir. Can we also mention that it is means ATP, right? So ATP, immediate energy donor. Yes, also correct. We can release this energy very quickly, Lamai. All right. Because of that, we can mention that is immediate energy donor. Correct. Right. Very good. That is also correct. I forgot to mention that this ATP is very quick. All right. Okay. Okay, Lamai. So then let's end the class for today. Good night.